Hey, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today we're looking at Wild Assent, which is kind of a boss battler miniature game with both a competitive skirmish mode and a campaign-based solo cooperative mode. And what I'm showing off today is a lot of the core stuff and some of the expansion materials from the original Kickstarter for this game, but there's a 1.5 edition of the game coming to Gamefound pretty soon. I haven't gotten to try out those materials, but I wanted to show you how the game runs like this, and you can kind of see how they're improving and working with the system in the new version. I'm going to go over the basics of play, do one full hunt, show how the settlement phase works, and you can use the chapters or timestamps to skip to any part of that. And additionally, I'll have a separate review video airing the same day, so you can see what I think about the game. And if you like what you see on the One Stop Co-op Shop, lots of ways to get involved. We have a separate streaming channel, we have a weekly podcast, a Discord you can join, you can support us on Patreon, lots of ways to show you appreciate the work we're doing. So again, there's both a competitive and solo cooperative mode of play for Wild Assent, and I'm showing you the solo co-op, which is a series of hunts where you'll have 4 seekers, some of these gray miniatures, going against usually 4 creatures, which are the 4 over here. In the setup we have here, we have 1 seeker kind of by himself and the other 3 over there. And the general structure of the round is one of the sides will go first. In the scenario we're playing, it's the monsters. So they'll activate one of their 4 guys, then we'll activate one of our seekers, putting a token on them to show they can't be activated again this round, then monsters, then us, monsters, us, until both sides have had 4 activations. And activations are very simple. First, the activating character can move up to their speed, which for this seeker here is 3. And then they can do 1 action. Most common one is to attack. You've got the range they can attack here, the base damage of their attack, and whether it's a physical or magical attack, this guy is magical here, and the bonus dice, attack dice they roll to potentially boost their attack, as well as their physical and magical resistance against enemy attacks, subtracted from every attack against them of that type. And they've got some special abilities, and Seekers have additional special abilities that are unlocked based on which buildings you have built in your settlement. As for the creatures, very similar stats. I didn't mention, but everyone has a health statistic. They've also got physical and magical defense. They've also got special abilities. But their movement and attacking stats are not tracked on their card. Instead, they each have 5 AI cards in this kind of combined deck. So I shuffled together all 4 creatures' cards. And each card will tell who they're targeting, how they're moving, and what they're doing. Most commonly, that's going to be an attack, but sometimes it's healing or doing other things like summoning creatures. And each time the creatures activate, they just draw the top card. So you could have the same creature activate multiple times in a round, whereas, again, the heroes are limited to 1 activation per round. And I mentioned that you can move your speed before you take an action. Generally speaking, unless you have a special power, figures can spend 1 speed to move 1 to the side or 1 directly ahead of where they currently are. You can't move backwards for speed. Alternatively, for 1 speed, you can rotate to face any direction. And your frontal arc for attacking includes the 3 spaces kind of directly in front of your figure, going out in sort of a diagonal fashion if you have a range attack. So Zaxos here is a melee attacker, can only attack at 1 range, so he could attack this trench watcher in front of him. You keep track of health using these trackers. When somebody takes damage, it slides down. If they go to 0, they are removed from the board. But something fairly unique to Wild Assent, you can also capture monsters once their health is at 50% or lower. What that means is, as an action, a seeker can start capturing them, and you need to get 1 more seeker than the monster's level. In this initial encounter, we just have 1 level 2 guy, which is this feathered serpent here, and all the rest are level 1. So we just need like 2 seekers to capture this trench watcher. Although it takes a couple turns, you take damage. When they would activate, instead of activating, they hit you for 1 damage. You'll see all that in action. And final quick note, and then we're pretty much good to go. We had terrain randomized on here. We've got 3 types showing. We've got these thorn bushes, which block line of sight. You can push people into for extra damage. Partial cover, if you're next to that, your defense is raised. And then up here, we've got full cover, which just blocks line of sight. And you cannot move into any of these unless you have flying movement. You can't move into other units. Generally speaking, you have to just go into empty spaces. And by the way, the creatures we were fighting were determined by the scouting cards. We got to draw 2 and pick 1. The Jungles of Talar is what I went with. And they generally have some kind of ongoing ability. In this case, non-flying creatures and seekers have -1 speed. And it determined that we had a level 2 feathered serpent and 3 level 1 creatures. That's what this means at the bottom here. And that means the feathered serpent and the griffin, both flying, they will have no negatives to their speed, but all 4 4 of our Seekers, and both the Horned Golem and the Trench Watcher will move 1 less. So that's mostly what you need to know. Let's jump in and see if we can take down these guys. So in this randomly determined scenario, the creatures go first, and the Feathered Serpent is activating. He's going to go towards the lowest hit point enemy. If there's a tie, the one with the lowest physical defense. He's going to do a swift flying advance. Swift means you can move diagonally. Flying means you ignore anything except on your final space. For 3, remember no negative for him because he's flying. Then he's going to do a physical range 1 attack. So the enemy with the lowest hit points is Berline or Berlin, my little dwarf kind of techno guy here at 18. And a key aspect of the AI in this game is that they will not change their targets to actually get an attack off. If somebody's like halfway across the board, but that's the target that they choose, they will go after them with their full movement. So he's got 3 movement. He's trying to reach that guy. And again, he can move diagonally. So 1, 2, 3 is as far as he can get. And the attack was range 1. What this means, 5, 6, 7, that's the base damage, and it's based on his rank. The Feathered Serpent is rank 2, so you use the middle number. So he would have done 6 damage plus 4 more attack dice. Good lord, this guy is dangerous. I'm glad he did not get to us. All right, so now we get to our first activation, and right now I have capacity in my settlement. You'll see that later, to hold 2 captured creatures. So I'm going to try to capture 2 of these guys, but I think it makes sense to defeat 2 of them first. And the Feathered Serpent, being a rank 2 creature, is way tougher to capture, so I definitely want to take out him. And in fact, I'm thinking I want to take out both of the flying guys. They have the most mobility, they're kind of the most dangerous, and they also happen to have the lowest hit points, so that makes sense to me. So the Griffin only has 10 health, the Feathered Serpent has 14, and the Feathered Serpent has a chance, if it is one of their special abilities, to ignore any attack that's not adjacent. So I'm going to start out by activating Fani. She has none of these unlocked, but she has 2 max range, good physical defense, 4 base damage, 1 attack die. She has sidestep. She has a chance to completely cancel an attack against her, and she can vault over people by spending 3 speed to like get around them. But she's got 4 speed because remember the -1 for this location we're in. And I'll just mark her with a token to show she's activated. And you get bonus damage in Wild Assent when you attack someone from the back. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, she's leaving herself completely open to that Griffin. Hopefully he won't punish her for it. But she's doing a back attack, which means she gets +2 automatic damage. Remember, she's got 4 base damage and 1 attack die. You just roll it. A sword is +1 damage, and a special is +1 damage and can also trigger other abilities, although she doesn't have any. So that is 5 damage, +2 from the back, 7. And we check the Feathered Serpent's physical defense, only 1. 6 out of 14. He is nearly to half damage already. We see our next creature, and it's a Trench Watcher. He wants to get adjacent to as many enemies as possible, going towards a lowest hit point enemy when there's a tie in how many he can get next to. A 3 advance because he's only level 1, and it's -1 because of a jungle, so only 2 movement, and then a range 1 attack. So the only person even slightly close that he can get to, most adjacent, is here. He can just attack Zaxos. And it's 3 base damage, 3 attack dice because he's a level 1 guy. And if he rolls at least 1 special, he's going to make Zaxos bleed and take automatic damage every turn. Wow, here he comes. Ooh, that was a good roll. No specials, but 6 damage. Zaxos has 2 physical defense, so he only takes 4. And thankfully, he has great health, the highest in my team. Starts with 30, so he's down to 26. All right, I want to keep on going after that Feathered Serpent. It's good to take down 1 creature at a time if you can. I'm going to use Ilithina, the elf. She has 4 speed, reduced down to 3. Only 1 physical defense, pretty good magical. 5 attack dice, though, and 3 range. She's a crossbow range fighter. And because we have the level 1 creature pen building back at our encampment, she has unlocked the Swift Kick power, which means if she attacks an adjacent person, she knocks them back 1 space. And remember, we want to be adjacent to the Feathered Serpent so he can't dodge out of the way. And she's got Elven Aim. If she rolls 2 specials on her attacks, she gets to assign damage. That means ignores defense entirely. And she's also got Cripple. It's a special attack. That's what the little arrow means. It takes her action. Attack a creature within range 3 with 2 base damage. When she attacks, assign the damage, so ignore shields, and apply Cripple. That creature has 0 defense until after it is attacked, which I'll note will be beautiful for the Horned Golem, which has 5 physical defense. Ridiculous. But for this turn, let's put that terrain to good use. With only 3 speed, she cannot get behind that Feathered Serpent, but with her knockback, she pushes them directly away from her, and if they cannot move somewhere because terrain is there, they take +1 damage. So she's going to get a little boost here. All right, so 2 base damage, 5 dice, and then +1 from the terrain. That was pretty good. So that is 2 + 4 is 6, +1 to terrain 7. She did not get 2 specials, so the defense will apply. But the Feathered Serpent only has 1, so that's 6 damage. He is almost done. Oh, and the Griffin is not happy how we're treating his winged brother. He's going to go after the enemy with the lowest physical defense, and if it's tied, the farthest with a flying advance. And lowest physical defense is definitely our friendly elf with only 1. With a flying 3 advance, he can just go right over people, so boom, there you go. How's that, elf? And he's doing a range 1 attack, 3 base damage, and 3 attack dice. Come on, hang in there. Ooh, that was pretty good. So 4, her 1 defense brings it down to 3. But here's the nasty thing about our friend, the Griffin. After resolving a Griffin Instinct card, resolve it 1 additional time. And if he defeats one of us, he gets to also resolve his card 1 additional time. So he just gets tons of actions. So he's just sitting right here and hitting her again. Oof, that is 6 minus 1 for her defense is 5. Both those together, Ilithina is down to 14, almost half her health. You know who didn't appreciate that? Our friendly dwarf, I think. So with us having the basic temple built, he has this ability Holy Mist, where each special he rolls heals himself. He's got magical attack with 2 range. He can reroll his attack dice once, and then the one that's really going to be key this turn, his Firestream ability means that when he attacks, he also deals 2 automatic damage to everyone adjacent to his target. Well, all enemies, I should say, not his allies. And guess who has exactly 2 health left? Feathered Serpent, our friend here. So let's have him. Oh, I guess he's facing the wrong way. He can go 1, 2. He's only got 2 speed, but luckily he's got 2 range. Although, hold on. We have to go from center to center, which means, yeah, Ilithina, the one he's trying to help, would block his line of sight. So I guess he's just going to shoot at the Feathered Serpent, but that means the Serpent has a chance to cancel the attack entirely. It says on defense, roll 2 attack dice. On special, ignore a non-adjacent attack. So let's roll for that first, because in that case, the entire attack won't matter. Yes! So he's got 4 base magic damage plus 2 dice. That was nice. He would heal himself, but he's at max health from the special. But that means that he's doing 6 damage. And the Feathered Serpent has 2 magical defense, but it's not enough. He is removed from the board. And to add a bit of insult to injury, the Griffin takes 2 damage from his Fire Stream. Nice job. All right, the last creature activation for this round, it is the Griffin trying to get some revenge. And oh no, going after lowest physical defense again. They often focus on the same person with 4 attack dice this time. Oh man, it seems we might have been targeting the wrong feathered friend. First attack. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's 5. That's 4 damage with her 1 defense. Second attack, that's another 6. So 5, so that is 9 total, which means, geez, she is down to 5 health. And sadly, not much we can do about that Griffin at the moment because Zaxos is the only Seeker who is not activated, and then we'll go into a new round. He's got 3 speed, so it's down to 2. He's unlocked Battle Cry, which lets him as an action taunt all enemies within range 2, forcing them to attack him. Would be great if he was up there to help Ilithina. 1 range, 3 physical damage, 3 attack dice, 2 and 1 physical and magical defense. If he rolls a special, he fatigues an enemy, which means they can't move as far the next turn. And then his best one, but again, it's useless while he's separated from everybody, is Teamwork. If an adjacent enemy in his frontal arc is attacked, he gets a free 4 attack dice attack against them as well. So he wants to be teamed up with everybody, but it's not happening yet. So I think he should start working his way over there. Let's have him go 1, 2, and he can attack the Trench Watcher. Looking at it from the Trench Watcher, no defense whatsoever, but look, Unblinking Watch, on defense, ignore bonus back attack damage, and retaliate with physical attack, range 1, 4 attack dice. So he's kind of a lot like Zaxos, they seem to get along. And then his attacks hit all adjacent Seekers. That's why his AI card wanted him to get next to as many people as possible. So Zaxos is going to get hurt for attacking, but he's still going to do it. Ooh, that is 6 damage with that guy having no defense whatsoever. So he is down to 9. That's close to capturing range. But now the Trench Watcher retaliates with 4 attack dice, and it didn't mention any base damage, so it's just these. And oh man, 4 dice. But that's not nearly as bad as it might seem because remember, Zaxos has 2 physical defense, and whenever you're adjacent in one of the 8 spaces next to partial cover, you get +1 to both your defenses. So that pretty big hit only takes Zaxos down a single point of damage. And with that, we're into a new round. All of these come off, but the AI deck stays. You just keep on going through it until it's exhausted and then refresh it. And additionally, if you draw a card for a dead creature, nothing happens unless you're playing on hard mode where you redraw. So sometime in here, we're going to get some Feathered Serpent cards and get a nice little reprieve. And right now is a good time to start. He would have gone towards the lowest hit point enemy, flying right over there and just stunning them, not hurting them. That wouldn't have been too bad. But he's doing nothing. We're playing on normal difficulty. Let's get to our turn. All right, this Griffin is definitely my main concern. If we can do 3 more damage to it, it'll be at half health and we can try to capture it. but capturing it does hurt the Seekers as they grapple with the creature. So I think I want Illithena to do those last 3 points of damage, and then our other 2 friends can be the ones who actually grab him and suffer the the little slings and arrows coming at him. So Illithina's got 3 movement. Let's do 1, 2, 3. She'll swift kick him into the full cover there for +1 damage. And remember, she's 2 base damage plus 5 attack dice. Oh, that was not great. That was only 2 plus 1, so 3 base damage, 5 minus his 1 defense is 4, which is 1 more than we needed. He started with 10 hit points. We need to get him to 5 or less. Nice. Now, everyone say a prayer that we don't get a Griffin card, or Illithina's probably not long for this world. No! Just we're about to capture him. What a jerk. And yeah, he's going after lowest physical defense again. He is not letting up. Now, I want to note there are ways to mess with this. Like if I had gotten Illithena next to that partial cover to boost her defense, then the Griffin might have gone after somebody else. I could have run her away from him. I could have used Zaxos if he was closer to taunt, but so it goes. He's just going to turn and do his thing. I don't think she can possibly survive. It's 4 base damage plus 2 dice each time. So that's 5 minus her 1 defense is 4. She's down to 1 hit point, and then, yeah, she is knocked out. Doesn't mean that she's dead or anything, but she is at 0 hit points, which is not going to make things easy when we get back to the settlement. Now, a bit of a strategic pause here. The Griffin has used 3 of its 5 cards, which means in the entire deck there's only 2 more activations for it. So do I still want to put all my energy into defeating it? I'm not sure. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I do. I think I want to try to mess with this Trench Watcher if it's Zaxos already hurt. So let's see, can she reach him? 1, 2, 3, 4. She would not be in range. All right, let's go back to the original plan then. Fani will start capturing this guy. So she doesn't take any damage here, but now anytime the Griffin would activate, instead every Seeker that's capturing him takes 1 damage. On her next turn, she'll flip this and take a damage. And once we have 2 Seekers with flip tokens, we'll capture him entirely. As for the enemies, I would have loved this card a second ago. The Feathered Serpent is dead and doing nothing. All right, let's get Berlin over here. He'll start capturing as well, so next turn we'll get that guy pretty quickly. But first, the Horned Golem has something to say. He wants to go after the enemy with the highest hit points. Pretty sure that's Zaxos. Oh no, actually, since she hasn't been hit yet, it's Fani. Now, lucky for us, he only advances 2 spaces, which will certainly not be quite enough. All right, and speaking of Zaxos, he's going to keep on advancing towards his friends. He'll attack this Trench Watcher again and take the retaliation. Oh, only 4 that time. This guy's down to 5. He tries to smack Zaxos back. That is just 2 damage, and with Zaxos having 3 defense with that, no luck. And with that, we're going into the next round. Now, since Illithena is out, the enemy activation is based on how many Seekers we have, so they don't get extra activations. So we're going to get 3 turns, and they're going to get 3 turns as well. All right, what friend is coming for us now? Ooh, Horn Golem going toward the lowest hit point person. And it's range X, which I guess means infinite range? I don't know. It doesn't really say. And it's assign damage, so no armor applies. 0 base damage, but 5 dice. Oh, and then assign 3 damage to itself. Interesting. So Berline here has the lowest hit points, and he definitely has line of sight to him. Here we go. Let's see how this turn... Oh, my lord. Okay, Berline, you're down 5 hit points since that was assign damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the nice thing is that the Golem takes 3 damage as well. And I could activate Berline or Fani first, but this guy has basically drawn only 1 card. Let's have Zaxos try to finish him. Come on, Zaxos. All you need is 2 hits. Come on. Whoa, that's even better. Now, I think the retaliation still happens. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, okay. So he's going to take 1 damage even with the partial cover. And sorry, I should have had him keep moving up toward the fray. But this guy is defeated. So we're down to only 1 enemy you can actually activate, which should make things a lot easier. Haha, Trench Watcher, get out of here. You're done. And our other 2 Seekers have pretty simple turns. We'll go ahead and have Berline do his capture first. He takes 1 damage. Ooh, and the Horned Golem is healing itself for 4. If now at full hit points, apply Stoic to self to gain +1 defense. He's got a +1 defense buff for the rest of the match. Come on now. But that's okay. Fani's going to take her 1 damage, and we have captured this Griffin that defeated our friend. And that's actually the end of the round, and in basic difficulty, we're going to keep on drawing cards for the enemy activations, but only the Horned Golem will actually do anything, although once we've gone through the entire deck, we do remove everybody who's not on the board anymore, so we want to try to wrap things up before that happens, or it'll just be a Golem activation over and over and over again. Speaking of, let's see what we get. Griffin, no sir. And I'm going to have Berline run up because he's the only one, unfortunately, with magical attacks, which is the only thing that's going to ignore the Horned Golem's abilities. He's got 2. He can re-roll them once. Okay, so that is 5 damage. But with the Golem's buff, he's now 6 and 1, so only 4 will get through. And this is definitely a guy we want to capture because it'll make things so much easier. So what do you need to get him to? I guess 8? So 5 more damage. That's going to be tough until Berline goes again. Okay, enemies draw a Trench Watcher. Nothing. Fani has a pretty low chance of being able to actually hurt this guy, but you might as well try. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. She's in his back arc for +2 damage. But still, she needs to beat 6. Give me a break. Oh, wait, that's 1. Her base is 4 +2. That's 7. We got 1 damage. Good job. Okay, we got a Feathered Serpent card. Still nothing. So finally, Zaxos. He's not going to make it this turn, but soon. Okay, it's another round, and Feathered Serpent again. Let's have Berline start making his way to maybe get a back attack on this guy. And Magic Attack, that's terrible. Thank you for being able to reroll, sir. That's better. That's 6 damage, so 5 with his armor. Ooh, which gets him to, yes, 7. He is ready for capturing. Unless he does something silly like heal himself. Griffin card, awesome. So Fani, throw those grappling hooks on him. And it's a Trench Watcher, so he doesn't do any automatic damage. Zaxos, run up and help out. You finally found your friend. Now Horn Golem activates. When an enemy activates, they do nothing if they're being captured, but they deal 1 damage to everyone capturing them. Luckily, our friends here are tough. There we go. And this is a new round, so Fani will do her capture for 1 damage. And last chance for the Golem to do anything. He did. 1 more damage to each of us. And finally, Zaxos takes a damage, and he is captured. So that was 1 full hunt in Wild Assent. As you can see, it goes incredibly quickly, and a full campaign is only 10 of those, although they do get more intense with higher level monsters later. So things definitely go at a pretty brisk pace. Once the battle is done, you come back to your encampment, your little settlement, and there are 5 different building types. You start with 3 at level 1. You always have the barracks, which gives you free healing whenever you come back from a hunt. And in this case, I also built the creature pens to hold a second creature. That's how I captured 2 of them. And I have the temple, which gives us additional healing because, unlike most games, when you come back to the town, you do not heal automatically. You need to spend actions to do so. So first things first, each of us heals 5 from the barracks. So Ilathena is back in action. That guy's almost at full health. Fani is at full health. She barely even got touched, and Zaxos is pretty close. Oh, and I should have mentioned there's crafting in this game. For each creature you defeat, you get the indicated resource. In this case, I get horns from the Horned Golem and feathers from the Griffin, and you get a number of those resources equal to their ranks. And for these basic rank 1 guys, I only got 1 of each. Oh, wait, no. These are the ones I captured. So never mind. I got kind of like an eyeball-y thing for the Trench Watcher, and 2 feathers for the Feathered Serpent because he was the rank 2 monster. Now, these do nothing by themselves, but once I build a workshop, I can build some items using those resources, and also if we go into town, which is called the Sylve Stream, we can do trading there to get items from like kind of this inventory deck. So how the settlement phase works is the Seekers take 5 actions in player order, and many of the actions are reliant on the buildings. The Temple lets you heal, usually it's 2 hit points, but you get to recruit these workers, and you get to start with 1. I got an Acolyte that makes the Temple heal +1. So we're going to heal 3 hit points each time we take an action there. Although with it being only a level 1 temple, you can only have 2 Seekers there at a time. You can upgrade it to hold 3 or even 4. If we had the workshop, we could construct stuff, but we don't. The barracks doesn't allow any actions, it just holds 1 creature and heals when you get back. If we had the Seeker's Den, we could have some people spend actions to get us additional resources, basically hunting through the wilderness. And the creature pen is another one that doesn't do anything on its own, it just holds creatures for you. So Zaxos is going to go first. I think he'll heal 3. Fani's going to travel to town, which takes 3 of her 5 actions, so she'll basically skip her next 2 turns. And so will Berline, and Ilathena will heal as well. So with my upgrade, that gets Ilathena back to 8 hit points, and Zaxos to 29. He's 1 shy of being at full. So is Berline. So really, Ilathena's probably going to spend 5 actions in a row just trying to boost this up. But how does the Sylve Stream work? First of all, you can sell any creatures you've captured to get money. That's like the main way to get money in this game. So I'm going to get 2 gold. And gold can be used to hire more of these workers. It's 1 gold per person, and you can hold some of them and more as you level up your barracks. And money is also used to build new buildings. It's 1 to build the first level of building, 2 to upgrade it to level 2, 3 to upgrade it to level 3. And remember, that's how we unlock new skills for our people. So you know what, let's keep things simple. Boom, boom, let's just go ahead and buy both the buildings we're missing, which unlocks a few fun things. Zaxos has +1 magic defense. Fani gets a heavy thrust attack that ignores armor and knocks people back. And she has +1 range and can dodge better. And Ilathena gets a Pierce ability that lets her hit 2 enemies standing in a line. Lots of fun stuff you can get. They can also visit the market for free. They get to draw 3 cards, and the chances that it'll need specifically eyeballs and feathers is pretty low, but why not try? And yeah, that's a lot of water and horns and other things, so we can't get mechanical traps or a holy relic or an intricate totem. Oh well. And we don't have any money to hire another worker, so we'll call them done. Again, they're going to skip their next 2 actions. So coming back around, we'll have Zaxos and Ilithina heal again. And then it's their turn a third time. Zaxos unfortunately can't go hunting at the Seeker's Den because he needs another person to help him. So he'll just skip his action. Ilithina will heal. And now we get our friends back from town for the last 2 actions. And you need to have 2 Seekers do their last 2 actions as scout to actually have a fight in the next year. You basically just like waste an entire year or a day or whatever the time unit is here. So you definitely want to do that. So I think that can be Fani and Zaxos. They're already at full health. And Ala Berlan and Ilithina just keep on healing. So healing needs to heal once, then he'll just waste his last action. She needs to heal twice. So that's boom. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, she almost got to full health from being defeated. That is usually very tough to achieve. So pretty happy about that. So there you go. You just witnessed 10%, 1/10 of an entire campaign in Wild Ascent. Like I said, it plays very quickly. There's also other modes of play, especially if you get some of the expansion boxes. Like they have like kind of all-out boss modes. They have a narrative campaign with story elements and stuff. And of course, like I said, they have the competitive arena mode. But if you liked what you saw or didn't like it and want to hear if I enjoyed and what I think about the game, go check out my separate review video. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.